back. Peter Hansen's and I'm back here with Peter Wang, and we're continuing our discussions, and there's a lot of things that we want to discuss, and I think Peter's more than willing to jump in with something that I think would be of interest to all of you.
Hi, Peter. Pleased to meet you again. Today I want to talk something about the first impression I landed in Canada. That was dating back many years ago, but I still remember it vividly in my memory. That it was a little bit surprised to me that when I landed in Vancouver, as soon as I came out of the plane and into the waiting hall to receive the immigration officer's check, I noticed that there is a simplified Chinese version signage all over the airport, actually.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, Peter, because whenever I went through YVR, YVR is the code for Vancouver Airport. All airports in Canada starts with a Y. That's the demarcation for Canadian airports. And I said to myself, well, that's quite interesting. Why is there simplified Mandarin on signs with throughout the terminal building at YVR? So the point you're bringing up is a very interesting one. What I did is that seeing that ignited my curiosity, and I actually contacted YVR, and they gave me this response, and it's very interesting. What YVR did is that they put together a survey, and there are three sampled groups where the three major cultural entities that fly in by numbers into YVR, and they were Chinese, Indian, and Japanese. Why they also chose those three specific groups was because English or French are not official languages in any three of those countries. So what they did is that they put together a survey, and they asked specific questions of these travelers as to if they would have problems with signage throughout the terminal building at Vancouver Airport, YVR, in only English and French, meaning in only the two official languages of Canada. And they asked them if they felt that it was a problem only having English and French signage. Well, the random sampling that they had, the results of the survey, told them that the travelers coming from India had no problem with English. We'll say English and French, but no problem with English signage. The travelers from Japan said that they had no problem with signage in English. The results from the Chinese travelers were a little different. The ones that answered the survey said that they would have problems with English-only signage, and they would appreciate if there could be some measure of simplified Chinese. So YVR took the results of this survey, specifically the results coming from travelers coming from mainland China, and instigated a policy where they added simplified Chinese to all the signs in YVR. So I'm hoping that answers your question.
Oh, thank you. A lot of information over there. I can infer from your answer two messages over there. One is she was very friendly for those authority to collect the feedback from travelers, and particularly this cater to Chinese travelers, right? And i.e. that means also the average English language proficiency from Japanese people and Indian people is on the higher level than averages.
That's a good point.
The Chinese.
That's
travelers.
a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
More impressed me is how friendly the Canadian people treat the external travelers from else region.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
I want to emphasize is that most vast majority Chinese people, they think the reason behind this is the alternative explanation is they tend to think that within the rapid growth of Chinese economy, those local people are doing some business for Chinese people. That's why they simplify the Chinese signage on the YVR terminals. Which, after your explanation, I realized it was not true.
Okay.
Part of the information we can share with the local Chinese community and the people over in China.
Yeah. So we can say that it is more than a given, meaning that the Chinese, if they're starting to travel, they almost see it as a given that wherever they'll go in the world, that there will be Chinese signage. That is not necessarily the case. In the case of YVR, they did their due diligence, they did their homework, and implemented a policy that recognizes simplified Chinese as a way to make it easier for Chinese travelers when they arrive at YVR.
I want very much to speak in Chinese to make a conclusion of this. 就不要把加拿大人的客气当作我们的福气，尤其是认为这种福气是导源于我们富起来的。加拿大人没有这么世故。
Great. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
I kind of a little bit implied to speak a little bit Chinese.
No problem. No problem. Thank you again, Peter.